Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book Burn Rate, a creation by Andy Dunn. Burn Rate 2022 tells the candid tale of Andy Dunn, the co-founder of Bonobos, a men's clothing startup, and his battle with bipolar disorder. Initially resistant to accepting his diagnosis, Dunn finally confronted his condition, but only after it had almost taken everything from him. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Andy Dunn, a Stanford MBA graduate, co-founded Bonobos in 2007 with Brian Sparley. Bonobos is a direct-to-consumer menswear brand. Andy served as the CEO of Bonobos until it was acquired in 2017. He is currently an angel investor and manages Red Swan, a venture capital firm. Andy has supported over 80 startups in total. With 13 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on StoryPlanet.net. To start, this text is about a CEO who has bipolar disorder and reveals the reality behind the notion of living the dream for them. Andy Dunn, co-founder of a successful online startup, shares his story of living in denial about his bipolar disorder for 16 years. He highlights the importance of understanding the struggles faced by those with bipolar disorder, as well as the connection between the condition and entrepreneurship. Despite the potential for heightened creativity and productivity, Dunn emphasizes the importance of addressing the stigma surrounding mental illness. The text warns readers that the story delves into themes of mental illness, suicidal thoughts, and domestic violence, and encourages them to read with care. Readers will also learn about the challenges of spotting and diagnosing bipolar disorder, as well as the triggers for hypomania, mania, and depression. Key idea number 1. The concept of invincibility refers to a state or quality of being unbeatable, indestructible, or immune to harm or defeat. It implies a sense of invulnerability and strength that cannot be overcome. This idea can manifest in various contexts, such as in personal beliefs, fictional characters, or strategic tactics. However, true invincibility is often regarded as unattainable in reality, as everyone and everything has some form of vulnerability or limitation. Andy Dunn grew up surrounded by doctors in his family and felt invincible as a child. He faced challenges being a mixed-race kid in school, but learned to hide his feelings of otherness. He became inspired by entrepreneurs and their glamorous lifestyles. Andy went to college, enjoyed privileges, and had a great life. Key idea number 2. There is a mention of Andy's ghost. The text describes the experience of hypomania and mania, which are phases of bipolar disorder. During hypomania, individuals feel energized, confident, and have a strong flow of ideas. In mania, they experience an exaggerated sense of reality, with no filter between thoughts and spoken words. They may go days without sleep or food and have grandiose delusions. The text also mentions the story of Andy, who experiences a manic episode and is eventually hospitalized and treated with medication. Key idea number 3. The text is not provided. Please provide the text you would like summarized. Andy has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder type I, which causes extreme mood swings and manic episodes. There is uncertainty if it is a one-off or a result of his medication. Andy and his family try to ignore the diagnosis due to shame and fear. The diagnosis will continue to affect Andy for years. Key idea number 4. Ambition is the desire to achieve success, power, or recognition. It drives individuals to set goals and work hard to accomplish them. Ambitious people are known for their determination, persistence, and willingness to take risks. While ambition can lead to personal and professional growth, it can also be disruptive if not balanced with other priorities. Andy moved on from his previous ventures and went to Stanford Graduate School of Business, where he met Brian Sparley, who had an obsession with pants. While Andy had various ideas, none gained traction. However, Spaley's idea of providing better-fitting pants and selling them online resonated with Andy. They decided to start a company called Bonobos. Key idea number 5. Chutzpah refers to a level of boldness, audacity, and confidence that exceeds normal bounds. It often involves taking risks and having the courage to speak up or act assertively, even in the face of potential criticism or opposition. Chutzpah is associated with a sense of self-assurance and fearlessness and is often admired as a quality of resilience and assertiveness. Two young entrepreneurs, Andy and Spaley, made a deal where Spaley would work in private equity and contribute to Bonobos during evenings and weekends. Andy took over as CEO and co-founder. Despite Andy's flashy lifestyle, they secured investment and set up Bonobos in New York City. The company received good press and sales grew. However, there are concerns about Andy's hypomania potentially causing problems if left untreated. Key idea number 6. No clear information or context is given in the text. Andy's sister, Monica, helped him manage his bipolar disorder by recognizing signs of mania and ensuring he got adequate sleep. However, his relationship with his business partner, Spaley, deteriorated, leading to Andy's mental state declining. He experienced thoughts of wanting a plane to crash during a depressive episode. To cope, he would spend days in bed and have hypomanic nights out, often turning to substance abuse. Andy became skilled at hiding his depression and avoiding reflection on his mental state to prevent the return of mania. Key idea number 7. Momentum is a concept in physics that describes the motion of an object. It is determined by the object's mass and velocity and can be thought of as the quantity of motion an object possesses. Momentum is a vector quantity, meaning it has both magnitude and direction. It is defined as the product of an object's mass and velocity, and can be transferred between objects through collisions or interactions. The law of conservation of momentum states that the total momentum of an isolated system remains constant, meaning that the total momentum before a collision is equal to the total momentum after the collision. This principle is commonly used in various fields, including sports, engineering, and everyday life. The swings of bipolar disorder are gradual and cyclical, not sudden. Andy experiences depressive episodes, alternating with periods of elation, but has not had a manic episode yet. He thinks his depression may be due to stress rather than illness. Andy asks his co-founder to step aside and experiences a hypomanic episode, which fuels him with energy to raise funds for his company. Despite facing financial ruin, Andy's elevated mood helps him secure funding, and the company receives venture capital funding for the first time. Key idea number 8. This text is too short to provide an accurate summary. Could you please provide more information or context? Bonobos was facing challenges with building the company while being watched by venture capitalists. The CEO, Andy, was under scrutiny for his leadership style and pattern of hiring and firing senior hires. Despite this, the company was innovating and expanding into physical stores. Andy was determined to make the company profitable, but faced professional problems and began to question if he was the issue. He sought therapy and medication, but felt there was no cure for what he was experiencing. Andy carried his burden alone, with a lack of support from those around him, causing him immense pain. Key idea number 9. The ghost comes back. In this text, the protagonist, Andy, experiences a manic episode due to his bipolar disorder. He falls in love with a woman named Manuela, but his love for her becomes dangerous. He boards a flight and becomes convinced it will crash, but it doesn't. Andy believes he is reborn, and God, keeping this belief a secret. He views homeless people as angels warning against materialism and tries to give away his Rolex. He attempts to fix the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and returns home to Chicago, where his family tries to help him. Andy suspects they are trying to harm him, but eventually takes a sleeping pill and begins to recover. He falsely claims he accidentally changed his Facebook status to engaged to hide his manic behavior. Key idea number 10. The text is missing. Could you please provide the text you would like me to summarize? Andy realized the need to quit his job after experiencing a personal crisis. He found a new CEO for the company and took a step back as board chairman. During a trip to China, his mood plummeted and he fell into a deep depression. However, opening up to his partner, Manuela, provided him with support and understanding. Andy realized that blaming his job was a mistake, as he would continue to face emotional ups and downs regardless. Without his job, he lost motivation to get out of bed. Learning about the challenges facing his company reignited his passion, and he decided to return as CEO. Key idea number 11. This phrase, howling at the moon, typically refers to a person or animal making loud and futile expressions of frustration or yearning. It is often used metaphorically to convey a sense of futility or longing for something unattainable. Andy is back in the US and focused on profitability for his business. He puts a deposit on an engagement ring for Manuela and sees the musical Hamilton, which sparks self-aggrandizing thoughts. He attends a party and believes that certain events are signs. Andy's behavior becomes increasingly manic, and he has strange interactions with a man named Colt and a black cat. Manuela becomes worried and calls her mom for help. Andy becomes violent and injures himself. The passage ends with confusion and uncertainty about what is happening. Key idea number 12. Honesty is regarded as a fundamental virtue that involves being truthful and sincere in all interactions. It entails being transparent and reliable and avoiding deceit, fraud, or manipulation. Honesty fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and promotes integrity and credibility. It is an essential quality that contributes to personal and professional success. Andy is committed to Bellevue Hospital due to a mental health emergency. While there, he is arrested and charged with assault. After being released, he decides to address his mental illness and openly tells his co-workers about his bipolar disorder. With support from his employer, he is able to sell his company to Walmart and maintain his relationship with Manuela and her forgiving mother. He finds a new psychiatrist who helps him find the right medication to manage his symptoms. Andy and Manuela also attend couples therapy, and despite feeling shame for his past actions, he learns to cope with the highs and lows of his illness. Key idea number 13. The concept of duty refers to a moral or legal obligation to fulfill certain responsibilities or tasks. It implies a sense of responsibility and obligation towards others or towards one's role or position in society. Duty often involves sacrificing personal desires or interests for the greater good or for the sake of fulfilling a given role or responsibility. It can be seen as an essential component of ethical behavior and can apply to various aspects of life, such as work, family, citizenship, or professional roles. Fulfilling one's duty is often associated with notions of honor, integrity, and commitment. The text highlights the importance of sleep in managing mental illness. Despite therapy and medication, sleep deprivation caused a severe episode in Andy, leading to a psychiatric emergency. His medication dosage was increased, and he realized the importance of treating mental illness. Andy and his partner, Manuela, now have a child, and Andy is determined to protect him and manage his mental health for his son's sake. In conclusion, Andy Dunn lived with bipolar disorder for 16 years without fully acknowledging or addressing it. Despite experiencing bouts of hypomania and depression, he achieved success with his startup and found love. However, serious episodes of mania nearly caused him to lose everything. Since then, he is committed to taking care of his mental health through therapy, medication, and a better understanding of his illness. The advice given is to treat mental illness like any other illness and avoid stigmatizing those who have such conditions. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.